Now to that controversial Florida legislation that critics are calling the Don't Say Gay bill. The bill says that schools, quote, may not encourage classroom discussion about sexual orientation or gender identity in K through 12th grade or in a manner that is not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students. The bill does not actually define what is age appropriate. To bring us the very latest, we're joined now by ABC's Victor Oquendo from Miami. Victor, thanks so much for joining us. Now, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who could become a presidential candidate in 2024, has signaled his support for this bill. Tell us what he has said about it and why he thinks that this is a good idea.
Lindsay, it was here in Miami where the governor did express his support for this bill. At least he signaled his support for it. He said in part that it was entirely inappropriate for teachers to be having conversations with students about gender identity. He goes on claiming that there have been instances where students have been told by different folks not to worry about picking their gender yet and then not telling their parents about these discussions. Finally, he said that the larger issue here is that parents need to have a seat at the table when it comes to what's going on in schools. Lindsay?
And of course, the backlash to this bill has been strong and swift. In a tweet, President Biden called it hateful, and advocates say that it could effectively ban all lessons about LGBTQ plus issues. Tell us more about the efforts to stop this from becoming law in Florida.
Lindsay, advocacy organizations are doing what they can, but this bill keeps moving forward. The official release from the White House here, conservative politicians in Florida advance legislation that is designed to target and attack kids who need support the most. LGBTQI plus students who are already vulnerable to bullying and violence just for being themselves. And just today we heard from Press Secretary Jen Psaki. She said, it's cruel, it's harmful, and it's certainly something that is not helping these young people, members of this community who are already vulnerable, already being bullied. Lindsay, it's pretty rare to hear from the White House on a Florida bill.
And this bill, of course, has a similar feature to the controversial Texas abortion law, SB 8. It encourages parents to bring lawsuits against educators if they believe sexual orientation was discussed in the classroom. What do critics have to say about that?
Well, the concern here is that it will really put teachers on thin ice, that they could be potentially open to lawsuits if they discuss sexual orientation. Here's just one example that could arise. Let's say a teacher has a student with same-sex parents. If that were to come up in the classroom, how could they possibly explain that without potentially running into some of these troubles here? As you mentioned, Lindsay, this bill, it doesn't clearly define what is age or developmentally appropriate. So this could really pit parent against parent or create this society of snitches almost. Lindsay?
But Victor, curious to know, how is this bill being received in Florida?
Lindsay, we've heard both sides here. We heard from one mom who said that her transgender daughter's school kept her daughter's privacy from her, and she made it feel like this school was telling her daughter that they needed to protect her from her mother rather than letting her mother protect her. Now, on the other side, they're calling it offensive, discriminatory, say that we are going backwards here, and that this basically sends a message to the LGBTQ community that their existence is so inappropriate here that it shouldn't even be discussed in the classroom. Keep in mind, there is already a high suicide rate in this community, and if you remove some of these critical lifelines, like in many cases teachers and counselors, that might make this even worse. Lindsay?
We can expect this debate to continue. Victor Oquendo, our thanks to you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.